2.5? 2.5? I can't. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mo, for those of you who are new, and no, Mo is not my real name. It's a nickname, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously. Sorry for if anyone's actually named Mo out there. It's a cool name. I mean, that's why I go by Mo, so I think it's cool. I will be reviewing, and y'all will be watching, hopefully. Yeah. Y'all will be watching my review of Save the Cat Writes a Novel. Yeah. Apparently it's the last book on novel writing you'll ever need. Now, today, we will find out if that's actually true. Which, it's not. At least in my humble, not so humble opinion. Sorry, I talk with my hands a lot, so if that bothers you, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stop. Anyway, what is Save the Cat Writes a Novel? Well, let me summarize it for you. It is basically a book that's supposed to help authors, writers. I don't know why I thought I had a brain fart, but then I didn't, because I was going to say writers, and that's a perfectly acceptable word, but whatever. My brain. It's weird. It's fine. I get easily distracted. I looked over there, and I saw something over there in the room, and anyway, my brain just went so we'll just go over that. I might put this in the bloopers, or I might not. Alright, anyway, Save the Cat Writes a Novel. It is a book to help writers and authors write better novels, apparently. Now, I have some good things and some bad things to say about this book. So let me just start off by saying, at least in the Authortube community, this book seems to be very, very hyped up. I have seen it all over the place on Authortube. I don't really understand the hype. So if you are a diehard fangirl for this book, you might want to click off the video, because I have some not so pretty things to say about this book, but you might get very upset with what I have to say, because this is going to be a brutally honest review of this book. So I'm just going to start off saying that my overall rating of this book out of 5 stars is 3? 2.5? 2.5? I can't. Two and a little nub. There you go. 2 and a little nub. Like I said, I have some good things and some bad things to say about this. I will save the good things for later, because I feel like there's enough, I guess, good things about this book in the Authortube sphere already. So I'm just going to kind of start off trashing on it. So, yay. So the first thing negative I have to say about this is I feel like this book is a bit disingenuous. Yeah. I was going to say that. I think it's disingenuous. It is basically, I think it's a very, I guess, to use YouTube terminology, clickbaity title. I don't think, it's very clearly not the last book on novel writing I'll ever need. Which, I get it. When I picked this book up, I didn't expect it to be the last novel on writing I'll ever need. I wasn't expecting that. So, I kind of knew going into it that it was probably going to be fairly clickbaity. Again, YouTube terminology. And I was right. There are definitely issues with this. So, it seems like throughout the book, there's this air of, well, just like it says on the title, this is the last book on novel writing you'll ever need. But then there's clearly points in the novel where it's clear that you'll need additional help. Like, for example, one of the story beats is the fun and games beat, or what she calls the fun and games beat, and that is supposed to be something like 50% of the novel, yet she doesn't really go into a whole lot of detail about how to successfully accomplish that portion of the story. she basically covers that portion of the story as much as she covers all of the other beats, which are much, much smaller in comparison percentage-wise. So although I feel like a lot of different writers, including myself, could get much better beginnings and endings from this book, I definitely think that this book has helped me with my beginnings and my endings. I feel like it lacks covering the middle of someone's novel. For someone who wants more structure, like this book claims to provide. Another issue I have with the book is that somewhere towards the end, I don't remember exactly what page number, she mentions that it is best or better, I don't remember her exact wording, to start with the beat sheet of your main point of view, which I don't necessarily agree with. For example, in the book I'm writing about, I actually started writing out, I guess, a beat sheet or an outline for a point of view character that is still going to be a main point of view, but is not going to be my main point of view. Like, it's not going to be the main character. Like, out of the 3 points of view I have, I already know which one is going to be more of the main character. And I did not start off with her beat sheet because her beat sheet relies on what happens with this other character that I'm writing. So for my book, it made more sense to start off with that other beat sheet of that other character and get that outline fleshed out first. So then I could move on and make her beat sheet more fleshed out. Another issue that I had with the book, and this might be something that this is just personal, all of this is just personal opinion, but another issue I had was in here she has a section about log lines and synopses, which is great. It's wonderful, and she gives some really great advice, but in some of her examples, I do think her log lines give away too much information. For example, she gives basically 2 examples of a log line for the first Harry Potter book. And she says that the second one isn't as good as the first one because it's too vague. However, in my personal opinion, I liked the second one more because it didn't give away as much information. I felt like, coming from a reader's perspective, I have more experience reading than writing. I felt like the first one gave away so much information that I, as a reader, would not actually want to read the book because I felt like the logline kind of covered it all and spoiled it all. However, the second logline, I thought the vagueness of it actually it intrigued me. And as a reader, I would be more inclined to pick up the other book. So I feel like she might be coming at this from just a writer's perspective, which she clearly has a lot more experience than I do. So I'm not trying to criticize that. I'm coming at it from a reader's perspective, and in my personal opinion, I feel like the advice she gave about that was not great. Okay, so now that I've basically torn this book to shreds, or at least I feel like I've done that, I'm going to say some good things about it because it's not all bad. Like, I'm not giving this a 0 or a 1-star review. This book definitely has some really great things about it. And the author clearly is, or maybe not clearly, at least to me, it seems like she has a lot of experience. So some of the great things about it is that this kind of ties back in with one of the things that I didn't like about it, where she tried to put everything into one of 10 genres that she had laid out. Although I disagree with trying to shove every book into one of those formulaic plot lines, I do think that those genres and the way she covers them are helpful for the people who are writing novels that follow those plot lines. Because, so she basically says that, it's the stuff in here and in her novel isn't formulaic, when in my personal opinion it is. But I'm not saying that formulaic is bad. I just wish that she was honest about it. It is formulaic. But these are formulas that have been used for years and years and years. So they work. A lot of them work. And I'm sure there's plenty of novelists writing books that fit some of the formulas she mentions in this novel. And for writers who are doing that, this book will most likely be excellent for you. But for authors who are doing something a bit different, or a lot different, I don't know how much use you'll get out of this book. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I don't know. I do think that she provides other great advice when it comes to crafting your hero and who the protagonist is. I think I think it was the first or second chapter. Let me check. Yeah, the first chapter. I think it's excellent. And at the end of the chapter, she has like some, here, let me get that off. I don't want y'all seeing that. Spoilers for my book. But she has like, I'm going to just try to like this. I don't want to spoil the book. She has this little check yourself thing at the end of the first chapter where everything she mentions in the first chapter for crafting a great hero, you can kind of just go down the little checklist and make sure that your hero follows that checklist. And honestly, I think that first chapter is what helped my novel out the most thus far. I think this book is almost worth buying just for the first chapter alone. So yeah, the first chapter, excellent. The formulas she mentions, excellent. I just personally don't like that she seems to act like it's not formulaic when it is. So yeah, overall, I think this book, I would give it 2.5 or 3 stars. I think it's like middle of the road. It's not great, but it's also not terrible. Now, would I buy it again? I personally would buy it again. But if I was super tight on money and I was just looking for one single craft book, like writing craft book, I don't know if this is the one I would buy. Yeah, I don't think I can confidently say that. I don't think that this is the last book you'll ever need the last book on novel writing you'll ever need. Sorry, I wanted to look at it so I was actually quoting it because I was doing air quotes. I just don't. I don't think it is, and I think that's disingenuous. However, I don't think it's a complete piece of trash, and clearly it's quite popular. I personally don't understand all of the hype. I bought it because of the hype, and I don't necessarily regret that decision, but I do wish I would have tried harder to find negative reviews before buying the book. And if I could go back in time and tell past me something, I probably would have told past me to try to find it used and not buy it new. So yeah, basically, to summarize, 2 or 3 stars, 2.5 stars. If you're tight on money, I personally would pass. If you're not tight on money, it's up to you. You'll probably find at least something helpful in this first book, especially the first chapter, in my personal opinion. Again, all of this is my personal opinion. So, yeah. Anyway, that's basically all I have for the review. So yeah, that's my review of Save the Cat Writes a Novel. Oh, I don't actually think I mentioned the author, Jessica Brody. Please like and subscribe and hit the little bell. Ding, 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 ding. I should get like a little bell and ring it. No, I shouldn't. So I hope y'all liked the video. And if you did, please give a thumbs up. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on this book right here. If y'all liked it, if y'all didn't like it, if you have it, if you were thinking about buying it, please comment down below. I would love to hear from y'all. And yeah, Anyway, I hope you all have a good day or night or whatever time it is there. Just have a good one. Bye!